The seatbelt light had just flicked off when it began. Row 22, Seat A. Darius Coleman, 32 years old, sat by the window staring out into the clouds. He was calm, quiet, headphones in. A father of two, heading home after a conference in Denver. But within an hour, he noticed something that would make his stomach twist, and what he did next would turn the entire flight upside down. It started with a smell. Then a sound. Something subtle. He pulled out one earbud. The man across the aisle, restless, pale, sweating, kept glancing at a small duffel bag under his seat. Every few seconds his hands trembled, tugging the zipper shut again and again. Darius frowned. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was nerves. But then he saw it, a faint wire sticking out from the bag. His heart dropped. He pressed the call button. A flight attendant approached with a polite smile. "Yes, sir? There's something wrong," Darius whispered, pointing slightly toward the man. "His bag, I think there's something dangerous inside." The attendant's smile faltered, then returned. "Sir, please relax. We'll take care of it." But she didn't. She just walked away. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. And that's when the man across the aisle stood up, walking quickly toward the bathroom, leaving the bag behind. Darius's pulse hammered. He unbuckled, stood up, and shouted, "Hey! Someone check that bag, now!" People gasped. The flight attendants froze. And within moments, the pilot's voice came over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, we're turning back." The cabin went dead silent. You could feel the fear ripple through the rows like a wave. The man in the aisle kept walking, not looking back. The duffel bag sat there, motionless, too still, too quiet. "Sir, please sit down," a flight attendant snapped at Darius, panic flickering behind her forced calm. "I told you there was something wrong," Darius shot back. "You didn't listen." Passengers craned their necks, murmuring. Someone started recording with their phone. A second attendant rushed to the front to alert the cockpit. Another moved slowly toward the abandoned seat. "Please," she whispered to herself. "Please just be nothing." When she reached the duffel bag, she crouched. Her hands shook as she pulled it gently into the aisle. A few passengers flinched, ducking. She opened it. Nothing exploded. But the sight inside made her gasp. It wasn't a bomb, but it wasn't harmless either. Bundles of small vials. Syringes. A tangle of tubes. And something that looked home-built. "What is that?" someone whispered. The attendant turned pale. "We need to lock down this cabin now." The pilot's voice came over again, tighter this time. "Flight crew, secure the cabin. Passengers, remain seated. We are returning to Denver International immediately." Darius felt his pulse in his throat. He looked toward the front. The man was gone. The bathroom door was locked. An attendant knocked. "Sir? Are you okay in there?" No response. Then, faintly, the sound of something clattering inside. "Step back," Darius said quietly. "Let me help." "Sir, please. I'm not sitting while that man's locked in there doing who knows what." He stepped forward, fists clenched, ready for whatever came next. The captain announced the descent, but they were still 30 minutes from the airport. Every second stretched like an hour. The flight attendants tried to calm people, but whispers spread like wildfire: bomb, terrorists, danger. The same crew who had brushed Darius off earlier now clung to his every word. "Sir, what exactly did you see?" "Wires. Vials. That man was sweating like he was hiding something. I told you 15 minutes ago." They looked ashamed. "We didn't want to make assumptions," one said quietly. Darius stared at her. "You didn't want to make assumptions about him, but you made plenty about me." Her face dropped. She knew he was right. The bathroom door opened suddenly. Everyone jumped. The man stepped out, hands raised. His face was pale, his pupils dilated. "It's medicine," he said quickly. "I'm diabetic. I was just..." "Step away from the door," Darius ordered. The attendants surrounded him cautiously. "Sir, please cooperate." "I didn't do anything," the man snapped. "This guy's paranoid." He pointed at Darius. "Because I didn't look like him." A tense hush fell. The accusation of racism flipped the energy instantly. Now Darius was the target again. A passenger muttered, "Maybe he overreacted." Another whispered, "Yeah, why assume the worst?" Darius's chest tightened. "You think I wanted to cause panic? I saw what I saw." The flight attendants looked uncertain again. They wanted to believe him, but fear and bias are twins. They moved together. Then, a sudden chime from the cockpit. The captain's voice came through, trembling. "Cabin crew, please secure for emergency landing." The plane was turning back. Whatever the truth was, something else had gone wrong. When they landed, police and bomb squads were waiting on the runway. The plane stopped midstrip, surrounded by flashing lights. Officers boarded quickly, directing passengers to stay seated. They moved straight toward row 22. The man, still claiming innocence, shouted, "It's just medicine. Check it." They did. Inside the bag, beneath the vials and syringes, they found a second compartment. Wires, powder residue, and a small circuit board taped together. Gasps spread through the plane. Darius's stomach sank, not out of fear, but validation. The lead officer looked at him. "You were the one who reported this?" Darius nodded. The officer gave a slow nod back. "You may have just saved every person on this flight." Passengers stared. Some in awe. Some in shame. The man was cuffed, silent now, no more excuses. The attendants stood frozen. One began to cry. They escorted everyone off the plane. As Darius stepped down the stairs, a woman reached out and touched his arm. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I doubted you." He gave a tired smile. "You weren't the only one." Hours later, at the terminal, police briefed the passengers. The man had smuggled hazardous materials, unstable chemicals, enough to cause serious harm if mishandled. His story about being diabetic was a lie. And Darius? The man who'd been ignored? He was the reason everyone walked away safe. But when reporters asked for comment, he didn't brag. He just said quietly, "If I had looked different, maybe someone would have listened sooner." The airline issued a public apology, promising diversity retraining. But for Darius, it wasn't about apologies. It was about something deeper, the cost of being right when nobody wants to believe you. Sometimes it's not the danger that kills people. It's the hesitation, the doubt, the choice to ignore a voice because of who it's coming from. Darius didn't shout because he wanted attention. He shouted because nobody else would. And that's the real message. If something feels wrong, speak up, even if they call you crazy. Because sometimes, doing the right thing means being the only one standing. So what would you have done if you were on that plane? Would you have believed Darius? Or dismissed him like everyone else? Tell me in the comments below. Your voice matters here. If you believe courage and awareness can save lives, hit like, share, and subscribe for more stories that expose injustice and celebrate humanity. Because silence might keep you comfortable, but courage keeps you alive.